We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph in Meseches Sotah. This is Sotah Daf 37a. The Gemara is continuing the Brisa, which is describing what happened at the Yam Suf, and the point of bringing this Brisa is to show how Yehuda was Mekadesh Shem Shamayim B'Farhesia. And the Gemara continues, Shifto Shel Binyamin. So what happened was, they were arguing over who's going to go into the Yam Suf first, and the Shevet of Binyamin, they jumped, V'yored Liyam Tchila, and went to the sea first. Shenemar, as the Pasuk says, Sham Binyamin Sa'ir Rodem. It says there, Binyamin, the young one, and we're going to darshan the word Rodem, Al Tikre Rodem, don't read it as Rodem, meaning to say ruling over them, Elo Rod Yom, rather what it means to say is going down, descending into the sea. And the Brisa continues, Vayusara Yehuda Rog Mimosam, and then the officers of Yehuda, they were stoning them for going first. Shenemar, as it says, Sara Yehuda Ragmosam, the officers of Yehuda, their council, and we darshan that as a language of stoning. Lafichach Zacha Binyamin, and therefore, since Binyamin went into the Yam first, Binyamin merited, Zacha Binyamin Hatzadik merited, Venase Ushpizchon Legvura, he became the host of the Almighty. Shenemar, as the Pasuk says, Uvein Kseifav Shachin, that he rests between his shoulders, indicating the idea that the Shechina rests in the Beis HaMikdash, in the territory of Binyamin. And the Brisa continues, Amar lo Rabbi Yehuda said to him, this is Rabbi Yehuda responding to Rabbi Meir, Lo kach hayamaisa, this is not what happened at the Yam Suf, Ella, rather what happened was as follows. Ze omer eina niyore, this one said, Eina niyore tchila liyam, this one said, I'm not going to go first down into the sea. Ze omer eina niyore tchila liyam, and this one said, I'm also not going to go first into the sea. Kafatz Nachshon ben Aminadav jumped, V'yared liyam tchila, and he went into the sea, he descended into the sea first. Shenemar, as the Pasuk says, and this is a pasuk from Hosea, Sivavuni b'chachash Ephraim uvemirma beis Yisrael. It says that Ephraim and the house of Israel, they surround me with deceit. V'Yehuda od rod imkel, and Yehuda is still wayward with God. And we darshan again the word rod, referring to the fact that Yehuda descended, Nachshon ben Aminadav descended into the Yam first. V'Olam Mefarish b'Kabbalah, and about him it explains, this is in Tehillim, Hoshieni Elokim kivo mayim ad nefesh, it says, save me God, because the water has come up to the soul, up to my soul, Tavati bivein metzula vein maimid, I'm in the seas, I'm in the depths, Al tishtefeini shibolos mayim v'al tivleini metzula, and again I shouldn't be swept away by the waters, I should not be swept away by the depths. B'yosa shah Moshe marich betfila, at that time, this is again by Kriyas Yam Suf, Moshe was lengthy in his prayer. Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him, Yedidai tovim bayam, my precious ones are drowning in the sea, V'ata marich betfila, and you're being lengthy with your prayers, V'ata marich betfila lefanai, and you're being lengthy with your prayers in front of me. Amar lefanav, he said to him, Ribona shalolam u'ma biyadi la'asos, he said, Master of the world, what am I able to do? Amar lo, so he said to him, Daber el b'nei Yisrael v'yiso, speak to b'nei Yisrael and they will travel. V'ata horem esmatchun eteyas yodcha, lift up your staff, stretch out your arm. Lefichach, and therefore the Brisa says, Zacha Yehuda lasos memshala b'Yisrael, Yehuda merited to be a ruler in Israel. Shenemar, as it says, Haisu Yehuda lekadsho, Yisrael mamshalosav, talks about the rulership of Yehuda. Matam Haisu Yehuda lekadsho v'Yisrael mamshalosav, mishum dahayam ravayanos. What's the reason for this rulership of Yehuda? Again, the reason is because of the sea that saw and fled, again talking about the Kriyas Yam Suf. And the Gemara continues, Tanya, we learned in a Brisa, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says, Yevshar Lomar Levi Lamata, you can't say, this is by Hargrizim and Harevel, you can't say that Shevi Levi was below, meaning not in the mountain, Shekvar Nemar Lamala, because it already says in the Psukim that Levi was on the mountain. V'yevshar Lomar Lamala, you can't say they were on the mountain, Shekvar Nemar Lamata, because it also says that they were below, that they were between the two mountains. Haketzar so Zikne Kahuna Levi Lamata, what it really means is that the elders of the Kohanim and the Leviim, they were down below, V'ashar Lamala, and the rest of the Leviim, they were on the mountain. Rabbi Yoshi Omer, Rabbi Yoshi says, Kol haroy l'shares lamata, anybody who was fit, meaning the proper age and able to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, they were down below, V'ashar Lamal, and everybody else, they were on the mountain. Rabbi Omer, Rabbi says, Elu ve'elu lamata hein omdim. Actually, everybody was below. All the Shvatim were actually below between the mountains, and what the Psukim really mean is Hafchu Peneihem, Klape Har Grizim. It just means they turned their faces towards Har Grizim, Upaschu B'bracha, and started with the Bracha, Klape Har Evel, and then they turned towards Har Evel, Upaschu B'klala, and they began with the Klala. And my al, what does it mean al? The pasuk seems to indicate they were actually on the mountains, and now we're saying that they weren't on the mountains, they were down below. Al b'samach. Sometimes the word al can mean nearby. Kedetani, as we learned in a Brisa, v'nasata al hamareches levona zak. It says they put levona, they put frankincense. This is talking about on the stacks by the lechem aponim, but it doesn't actually mean it was on top of, it means nearby. Rebbe Yomer, Rebbe says, al besamach, again, that's al, it means nearby. Atomer al besamach, oenu ella, al mamish, you're saying that it means nearby, but maybe it really means on top. So here again is proof that that's not the case always. Kishuomer, when it says, v'sachos al aron, it says it's going to be on the aron. It's talking about the parochas, the curtain, which was not on top of the aron. It was just a separation to the Kodesh Kodashim. So you see the word al does not mean on top. Haviyomer al besamach. So you see again that the word al can indicate nearby. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Hafchu Paneim Klape Hargrizim Upaschu Bebracha V'chulu. Again, they turned towards Hargrizim and they began with the bracha. And the Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, Baruch Bechlal, there was a bracha that was given in general, and then Baruch Beprat, and then there was also a bracha in terms of the specifics. There are specific mitzvahs that are mentioned there. Or Bechlal, similarly, the curse was given in general, or Beprat, and then there was a curse that was given on the specifics. Lilmod ulalamed lishmor velasos, and then on each one of these things, there's to learn it, and there's to teach it, and there's to keep it, and there's to do it. Hare, so we see from there. And Rashi explains, Baruch Bechlal, Baruch Beprat, there's a baruch on the general, a blessing on the general, and there's a blessing on the specific. Kol habrachos va'klolos nemru b'hargrizim u'v'harevel bechlal uprat. What this means is all brachos and klolos by hargrizim and harevel, they were in general and they were also specific. Baruch asher yokem es divrei haTorah hazos. A general one, blessed is the person who keeps the Torah. Ar asher lo yakim, curses the one who doesn't. Harei bechlal, that's a general blessing and curse. V'chol achas v'achas beprat, and then you have specifics as well. Baruch v'orer, baruch asher lo yaseh pesel u'masecha. Ar asher yaseh pesel u'masecha, bless the one that doesn't make idols, curses the one that does make idols. V'chein kulan, and that's how it goes on with all of them. And we understand that on each one of them is lilmod u'lalamid lishmar v'lasos. Each one is to learn and to teach and to keep and to do. Kol ha-mitzvahs kulan to unos arba elam, meaning every mitzvah needs to have these four things. You got to learn it, again, keep it, do it, teach it. Harekan arba mitzvahs l'chol mitzvah, so you have four mitzvahs for every mitzvah. Ve'al arbasan, and on all four of these things, nimsaru ar uvarach, there's going to be a curse and a blessing, bechlal uprat, in general and to the specific. Meaning, Baruch asher yilmedu, or asher lo yilmedu, a blessing on those who learn this, a curse on those who don't learn it. V'chein lalamid, v'chein lishmor, v'chein lasos, same by teaching and keeping and doing. V'chol echad arba brisos, at every single mitzvah you have these four covenants. Bris levarach bechlal, bris levarach beprat, bris la'ar bechlal, bris la'ar beprat. On every single one, again, you have a covenant on a general blessing, you have a covenant on a specific blessing, a covenant on a general curse, and a covenant on a specific curse. And the Gemara will go on to say, arba v'arba, arba brisos, lilmod v'arba lalamed harei shmona. You're going to end up having four covenants on learning and four on teaching. That comes to 8. Shmona, again, this is going to be on the next Amud, but we'll read it here. 8 and 8, ha'ika od shmona, lishmor v'lasos. Then you have an additional, an additional 8 because you have lishmor and lasos. And the Gemara will continue counting the totals on the next Amud. We'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Beis.